Good morning. This video discusses synthetic substitution and division. Really, synthetic's the important word. It's a different process of doing this substitution or division. So let's just reiterate. When they ask us to do synthetic substitution, what we're doing is we're finding the value of some polynomial at some x. All right? We have always done it as direct substitution, but now we're going to do synthetic substitution. So it'll give you a polynomial, and I'm going to do an example in the next slide. I'll give you a polynomial and say find the value of the polynomial at some x. That's substitution, okay? Division, it's going to tell you to divide. It's going to say use synthetic division to divide this problem, or it might ask you if something is a factor of this polynomial. Well, you could use polynomial long division or synthetic division. I would use synthetic division when I could because it's just it's a cleaner method of doing it. All right, let's do some problems. The first one is we're going to use it as synthetic substitution. So I have a polynomial here, and I'm going to say, all right, folks, find me the value of that polynomial at x equals -2. Okay, well, remember, synthetic division or substitution uses the coefficients and always needs placeholders if you're missing one of the exponents or the constant. Excuse me. So I'm going to pull down my coefficients, and I notice I'm missing an x term here, aren't I? So I need to put a 0 for the x term, and then I'll put my constant. All right, so now I come over here for synthetic substitution. The x value I want to evaluate goes here, and our process is as follows. The first number comes straight down. Then 1 times -2 is -2, and I add. 4 times -2 is -8, and I add. -8 times -2 is 16, and I add. So let's see, when I add, I believe that's 9. So when I box off this last value, which I do every time, in terms of substitution, this is the value of the polynomial at x equals -2. Sorry, it should be a negative. All right, let's check it with direct substitution. Direct. So basically, this is where I do, and I just directly substitute in the -2 where x is. So let's look at what we got. -2 to the third power is -8. -2 squared is 4, so plus 24 minus 25. Notice that is -1 equals -9, and it worked. All right, so you need to tune into the problem statement. Are they asking you to do synthetic substitution, or do you need to divide? So on this next page here, we're going to do a division problem. The instructions say divide, and then decide if the divisor is a factor. What's the key there, folks? The divisor is a factor if your remainder equals 0. So if our remainder equals 0, the x minus 8 would be a factor of this polynomial. If so, find the remaining factors. So let's watch and see, first of all, do we need any placeholders? I have a 3, 2, 1 constant. I do not need placeholders, so I'm going to put 1, -22, 157, -360. Okay, that's a 0. Now, when we're doing synthetic division, when our divisor looks like this, we actually solve it to figure out what the solution would be, and that's what we use to evaluate synthetic division. So let's do the process. 1 comes down. 1 times 8 is 8, and we add, so that should be -14. Okay, so -14 times 8 is -112. So if we add, we're going to get -45. Nope, positive 45. 45 times 8 gives us a positive 360. And when I add, notice the last number is 0. So x minus 8 is indeed a factor. So now what we need to look at to evaluate what the other factors are is what's the quotient here. Remember, you start from the right. The first term is the constant. The next term to the left is the x term, x squared term. So we have left over x squared minus 14x plus 45. Right now we're going to decide if we can factor this, right, to find the remaining factors. So on our flow chart, there is no common monomial term. So I can use just what multiplies to 45 and adds to negative 14. So let's see. 45, oh, that would be 9 and 5, wouldn't it? Negative 9, negative 5. So when I come over here, these are my remaining factors. All right, take a look at this, watch this a few times, and then let me know if you have questions. All right, thank you.